back to another episode of the Branching Out podcast. Today we're talking to Issie Reed. She is a project coordinator in our Rail and Infrastructure division. Really excited to speak with you today. Welcome, Issie.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So that's a very general introduction. Project coordinator can mean lots of things. So could you tell us a little bit about what it is that you do and what your team does, and any insights you have from working in your area of ground control?
Yeah, cool. So the areas that I look after within the rail and infrastructure side is the highways team and the geotechnical drilling, which came over in January. So it's quite a new aspect. So when I originally joined, I think nearly 3 years ago, next April, I came on originally to do highways as an apprenticeship. And then that's then developed to when the geotechnical side came over in January to taking on doing the admin side for that as well.
Okay, so yeah, you've definitely had some career change throughout ground control. Then that's good though. I mean, yeah. I think it's quite good to be able to kind of broaden like what you do as well. Otherwise it might get a bit samey. So highways, I mean, I have a general idea of what that means. Could you give us a bit of a description about what the type of work is that your team is doing on site that you are kind of supporting in the background?
Yeah, cool. So a lot of it is like devegetation work and preparing stuff. So like a particular project they're working on at the moment is clearing vegetation, so then they can go in and change the lights on, I think it's the A12. So it's those kind of things. The side of stuff that I do is the purchase order raising for like the field teams to go out, and also like the general day-to-day procurement stuff now sits with the project coordinators too. So I'll order stuff for like their compound setup or general materials and bits and pieces that they need to be able to do their job. And then obviously invoice reconciling when it comes in. And then I also put together the applications. So actually billing the client, I do that with me and one of my other colleagues. So it's quite the full circle as such, although I'm not actually doing the operational side. The admin side from start to finish does sit with me and my colleague.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, if they didn't have you doing that for them, they wouldn't be able to do the work that they do on site. So, but that must be quite satisfying as well, then, that you get to see the project through its from the beginning through its completion. So that's the highway side. So obviously geotechnical is a bit newer. Could you give us a bit of an idea of what we're doing with that these days?
So there's a lot of projects that the guys have kind of got going on at the moment. So it's a real mixture from stuff that they came over with when they came over in January to new projects that they're working on at the moment, some of which have gone on and still going on now. So they're drilling like boreholes and like testing the soil sampling, and it kind of ranges from each guy in the team doing a different aspect of that to be able to provide that information to our clients. So that's definitely been something new, because I had absolutely no idea about any of that before it came over. So it's been a learning curve of all of the terminology that they've kind of come over with and that they use, when I'm so used to everything being highways based, to that learning curve. And obviously their processes are completely different. They need different kind of clearances to go out to do work. It's whole host of new processes to learn, as well as their all of their weird and wonderful procurement requests that come with it.
I can imagine we've had some interesting training requests over the years, so I can imagine that you must also have some interesting ones. So does that mean then, like, when you're not at work, are there things that you see when you're driving down the highway or doing things now that you think, oh yeah, I think about that differently now?
100%. Even like when I'm on the motorway and I'll see like a particular thing that I know I've ordered like within the last couple of weeks, or one of our suppliers, I'm like, oh, that's we get stuff from them. Or on a particular road, I'm like, oh, we're working on this but not this junction. I just pick things up. I think for doing it so often now, and obviously being in the role for quite a while now, I do just go past things and be like, oh yeah, that's what we do. Or it's nice, because I think the more I go over that kind of stuff, the more my knowledge is cemented, which is great to progress in my role and obviously provide the support to the teams that they do need.
Because you know exactly what it is that you're actually getting for them.
Exactly.
So and you can relate a bit more if they're having a mare.
Exactly.
Because they do happen. So do you have any, I guess, so you've been here for 3 years now. Do you have any memorable moments that you've, or challenges you've faced over the years?
Definitely memorable moments. Literally on my first day at ground control, you literally couldn't write it for your first day. So I went to collect all my stuff from head office, like my laptop or my phone, because I thought it'd be nice to be able to meet some of the team and
Yep.
different people that be in the office. So when I go in, I do know people. Turned up, drove in, parked in my parking spot perfectly fine. Turned up a little bit early, so I was like, I'll wait in the car, don't want to be too early. Walked in and they gave me a little visitor badge to put into my car. Went outside and my car wouldn't unlock. The car alarm just kept going off.
Oh
I couldn't get this
no.
badge in, and you only think, oh my god. And they must have assumed that I was like, I just clearly don't want the job, because I was at the car trying to unlock it for about 10 minutes. They must have thought she's walked into the office and thought this isn't for me and just left. It's just too much on my first day. So we managed to not unlock the car, but the car was locked, so I could leave it, and I had to be dropped home by HR to be able to
Oh
make my
no.
induction on my first day.
Oh
So
no.
I've never forgotten that. I think that is probably my most memorable moment in the whole of my time at ground control, would be the fact that my car wouldn't unlock and I had to be dropped home by HR on
You
my
got,
very first
yeah.
day.
You got stuck. Oh no. I can just imagine as well. Was it, if it was in Billericay too, like just being, yeah. At some point somebody's gonna be
Exactly.
looking out the window at you being like, what are you doing?
Literally, because I'm pretty sure I remember a fleet pulled up beside me and they were like, oh, how you going? You having a good day? And I was like, no, I'm really, really not. I'm
Welcome to
really
ground control.
struggling. Literally.
Oh dear. Well, hopefully, I mean, you started that off. Yeah, it didn't start off great, but hopefully it's been better since
It
then.
definitely. I don't think anything
Yeah.
else could top that, to be fair.
Oh. Um, as far as, I mean, so we've gotten a better idea of what highways and geotechnical are. I guess project coordinator, I mean, there are some things that we would assume you would do, and you've kind of talked about like your day to day that you things that you have to cover. Do you think there's any like misconceptions about the work that you do?
I suppose where it's like an admin based role is I think people will probably assume it's a lot of just dealing with the field teams with like purchase orders and invoicing and maybe like the ordering side. But in my particular team, we're involved in a lot more. So I sit on the forecasting calls, I'm in the commercial calls. So I've almost got like a whole rounded experience. So I know a lot more about what's going on, like the operational side. I know when teams are going out. I know kind of this information as well. So I'm heavily involved in even like new processes that they're looking at doing or implementing. I'm also involved in that kind of thing. And the same with new like apps that they're going to use, particularly like one that we're trialing at the moment with the team. I'm involved in all of that as well. And obviously like the fatigue management is another aspect that I look at with the team. So I upload all of their shifts and pull off data for that as well for reporting for the client. So it's kind of, so the only way to kind of put it is it's just a whole host of.
Yeah. Well, I think you could only, I think, maybe you can disagree with me, but I think having that bigger picture of understand like that helps you do your job the best that you can as well as by having all of that information and being involved.
Definitely, yeah. I think it gives me a whole idea of exactly what's going on, which kind of cements my understanding in each
Yeah.
of the processes that I do, because I understand kind of like the bigger picture rather than it just being I raise a purchase order, send out an invoice, and I maybe have some little involvement, but understanding the processes and being involved in new changes means that I'm on that from the start rather than kind of joining once it's actually out there.
Yeah, you can make better decisions that way too. You can't
Exactly, yeah.
you don't if you don't know what you don't know, then you can't make, yeah, you're missing something there, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Um, so before I kind of wrap up this section about kind of talking about your area of work, is there any like upcoming projects you're excited about or anything you think would be good for the greater ground control to kind of know about what you guys are up to?
At the moment, we're trialing Hubscape, which I believe that another part of the business are looking at as well. But we're looking at it to basically plan where the teams are. So I do a little bit of the resourcing. So I sit on those meetings. At the moment, we're using like an Excel spreadsheet to be able to identify where each of the guys and the teams are, as well as where our field teams and any agency workers that we're using. So by using Hubscape, it gives us a better view and gives us an idea of how well we're utilising the teams when they're out, and also the shifts, and being able to capture that, where the guys can then add photos and additional information on an app on their phone rather than it being paper-based. So coming away from that paper-based and using apps slightly more. So that's what we're currently trialing at the moment.
So that's exciting for you then, because that really helps you with your efficiencies. If you're trying to balance all your invoicing and acquiring of stuff, like that is a lot. I mean, I have been in a similar role before. There's a lot of different moving parts. So yeah, if that can help you with your efficiencies, then definitely that's exciting. And we'll have to keep an eye out for that for the rest of the year then and see how you get on.
Definitely.
So we're going to shift the talk back specifically to you. I know you talked about you started out in your apprenticeship and you've kind of your role has really like developed and molded over the years. Could you give us like a better idea of like ways you have focused on your development since starting your apprenticeship to now?
Yeah, of course. So obviously joining as an apprenticeship, like coming in as an apprentice, I did the level 3 business administration course. So I picked that option because I like learning new stuff. I'm literally like a learning sponge, and that's exactly what my colleagues would describe me as. Is I just literally soak it all up. It's something that I love doing, and I thought for me that was the best route to kind of come into a company to be able to gain that learning, but not only just learning from kind of like the textbook and the course, but learn off of people that have been in the industry or the job for a really long time.
Yeah,
because it's just invaluable having both, because it's all right kind of reading stuff from a textbook and implementing it, but actually having that hands-on experience and learning off of other people with the same experience, it was just really beneficial. And I think for me it was finding that balance, so still doing the day-to-day like job role and then having my set day off for my apprenticeship to be able to continue the studies, to be able to complete the course and come away with that qualification, as well as a cemented understanding of my role and where my progression was after the apprenticeship.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're learning the theory of it, but then you're applying that to your niche area of the world, and we're going to call it the world of ground control. Be less dramatic. Your area of ground control. And yeah, I mean, that's invaluable, being able to actually, I think that's what, if anyone that has done like university or anything like that, there's that lack of practicality if you don't do an internship or anything like that, that I think apprenticeships do such a good job of giving you that practical experience to match the theories and kind of the best, what people call like the best practices of business to your niche, and how and mold it and make it your own as well. And obviously, like you said, that's really helped you in developing into where you are now at ground control. Are you doing, I guess, is there anything you're looking at to like, obviously there's the learning on site, there's learning the whole new geotechnical area of the business. Is there anything else for personal development wise that you are working on?
So at the moment I'm doing our pick and mix learning to kind of continue that learning streak, because I just don't want to stop learning and stand still kind of thing. Because I think after I finished the apprenticeship, obviously having, I think it was nearly 18 months, because I finished 3 months ahead of schedule. It's quite intense when you're learning a new role and then finishing the course. So I was like, at least if I go for the pick and mix, I've still got that learning, but it's not so intense, which is what I quite like about the pick and mix. But course wise, I would like to look at something else potentially next year, just to continue on that learning. Whether it's doing a level 4 in what I've already done, or looking at something that's more relevant to the role, because that's why I wanted the break, is to really understand my role, especially as it kind of changed in January, and looking at new areas to what then would be most relevant to continue that development within my role.
Yeah, I think that's what's good about the pick and mix option is that
Yeah,
takes that pressure off, but still gives you the chance to take a break from the day to day and learn something new. And yeah, I mean, GC Grow is something to definitely look at if you want to go to the next level because it's free and you don't have to pay for it.
exactly.
So yeah, something for the future then. Do you have any tips or advice that you think would help somebody coming into ground control in supporting their development?
I definitely say breaking things down. So I love lists,
Okay.
like a to-do list or post-it notes. That's what I find is my best tool because I feel like you almost achieve a little bit more and it seems more manageable when things are broken down. And I've done that since day dot starting a ground control, is just having my little notes and notes as well, to be fair, having my
Yeah.
notes and my little bullet points about what tasks I've got to get done because it helps me stay on top of everything. And then the more I see ticked off, the more I know I've kind of got through in the day.
That's perfect. That's great. Right. So thank you very much for that and taking the time with us today. I want to ask one more kind of parting of knowledge question for our listeners, and that is, what is the best piece of advice you've been given?
The best piece of advice I've probably ever been given is give 100% to everything that you do. And I think that's exactly the mindset that I took when joining here and then embarking on the apprenticeship. And obviously, any new tasks or processes that are thrown at me is just give it my all. And then I know I've done everything that I can do
Yeah,
rather than kind of sitting back thinking, if only I'd done that, or if only I'd done it this way, just knowing that I've gone in and given it my all is probably the best piece of advice I've ever been given. And I just now apply that to almost everything that I do. Every task, every new process I look at, or everything that I'm involved in, I just give 100%.
and I think that kind of comes back to you that and helps you, I think, ultimately as well, because it then makes you better as a person, better as a project coordinator, I guess, in this case. And I mean, it can only help you if you put the effort in, put the time in, and it will reap its reward. It might not be immediate, but it will eventually reap its reward, definitely. Well, thank you very
Definitely.
much, Izzy, for taking the time to speak with me today. It's been really interesting. And yeah, we'll have to catch up again soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care. And that's it for us today. If you or your team have an exciting project going on and want to share, please reach out and we'll get you on the podcast. Until next time, take care.